Good to go?
Good.
Go ahead, Jim.
All right. Good evening. I'm Deputy Chief Josh Barker, Deputy Chief of Operations for IMPD. I'm here to provide an update on the officer-involved shooting that occurred just a couple of hours ago. Please keep in mind this is preliminary information and as always is subject to change as the investigation continues. This all began approximately 3 o'clock this morning when officers responded to a shots fired incident in Broad Ripple. Once on scene, throughout the course of the investigation, officers learned that a woman had been involved with in a disturbance with the father of her child. During the course of that disturbance, the father of the child, fired a round in Broad Ripple, which struck her vehicle. Since that time, officers from North District's Violent Crimes Task Force and Violence Reduction Team have been conducting their investigation. They knew the identity of the individual and were in the process of attempting to locate him. At approximately 4 p.m. this afternoon, officers located that male suspect at the BP gas station at 38th and Fall Creek. They moved in to try to apprehend him when he led them on a short vehicle chase. During the course of the vehicle chase, he was involved in a vehicle crash with an uninvolved citizen, and then that male and a second male exited the vehicle and fled on foot. When officers made their way and contacted the individual fired shots at the officers. 3 of our officers returned fire, striking the suspect. Once the suspect was down and it was safe to proceed, our officers immediately moved up and rendered medical aid while they requested IEMS to respond to the scene. IEMS responded to the scene, and that individual was transported to Methodist Hospital, where he is in critical condition. The second male who was involved in the foot pursuit, also was transported to the hospital. He was taken to Eskenazi, not because he was injured by the officers or involved in an exchange of gunfire, but because he was complaining of chest pains as a result of the foot pursuit. Right now, critical incident response team and homicide investigators are on scene, continue to work through the incident alongside of the North District Violence Reduction Team with regards to the incident that unfolded earlier this morning in Broad Ripple.
How many shots were fired by both sides?
It's too early to tell. We don't have an accurate round count to share at this time.
How many guns were recovered?
There were 2 guns recovered. There was 1 gun with an extended mag that was recovered outside the passenger door of the suspect's vehicle where the car crash occurred prior to the foot pursuit. And there was a second gun with an extended mag and a Glock switch that was recovered at the scene where the individual our officers shot was located.
We saw over at 62nd Binford, it looked like it would have been a northbound black vehicle ran into a vehicle that would have been westbound on Kessler. Am I assuming the black vehicle northbound is the suspect vehicle?
I don't know.
What about the woman? What's an update on the woman? Is she okay? You said her car was shot. She was uninjured?
Thankfully, no one was injured this morning during the initial incident that triggered this investigation, but the vehicle was struck when the suspect fired a shot into it.
And the wounded individual is your suspect from Broad Ripple?
That is correct.
And I would assume you're double checking now with forensics to determine if the gun fired in Broad Ripple is the same one you recovered out here?
That's correct. We did recover a shell casing in Broad Ripple during the shooting that occurred at 3 a.m., and that will be compared to the evidence that's located on the scene here.
One more.
There was a scene up on this part of the road. Was that to stop the suspects from running out of the woods, or what direction did they flee on foot?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm tracking which part was
this
On Binford.
South Binford.
Yeah, up that way north, I guess.
Yeah, it was. We stopped southbound vehicular traffic because of the location of the incident where the exchange of gunfire took place.
Can you tell us
Thank you,
just
guys.
one more question, if you can tell us about the officers who responded up there and fired. Patrol officers, VCU officers in plain clothes, who would they have been?
We had 1 violent crime detective who was in a tactical vest with police markings, and then 2 uniformed middle shift patrol officers. Thank you.
Just spell your first and last. We got your name. Just spell your first and last.
Yeah, it's Joshua, Joshua, Barker, B as in boy, Arker.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.